link in the description if you want to go pick one up. Don't worry if it breaks when it comes to your house. I'll send you another one for free out of my pocket. I don't care. I want you to get your liberal tier mug. It comes in liberal tiers, white with the face, black with the face, white without the face, and black without the face. So pick whichever one you want, and it'll come to your door in about 3 to 5 days. So that should be epic. First link in the description. Thank you. Let's go on with the video.
Communicate what you believe, you're not going to be very successful. So you do need a message, and that message better be why you believe what you believe, but you also need a very effective manner or method of communication. In other words, you need to learn how to persuade. How do you persuade in life? Facts, authenticity, sincerity, credibility. You want to persuade, change people's minds to come around to your way of thinking on whatever issue it is, and I don't care about your politics. They're none of my business. You can have whatever politics you want. But I will tell you what doesn't work: insulting people. Any of you been married for more than a week? Any of you aspire to be married at any point in life? Let me give you a piece of free advice after 25 years of marriage. Insulting people does not work if your objective is to persuade. I am terrified of my wife, so I have never tried to insult her into changing her mind, but I have seen plenty of my friends try it, and it does not work. Look, I did not vote for President Obama. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for him. But you know what? A majority of my fellow citizens did. So when I see a bumper sticker that says, don't blame me, I didn't vote for the idiot, do you think that's persuasive? Do you think anybody that voted for President Obama is going to be persuaded, yeah, maybe I possibly made a mistake because this person called me an idiot? Life doesn't work that way. You know what happens when you're insulted? You become even more dogmatic in holding your incorrect belief than you were before you were insulted. So if your goal is to persuade, you shouldn't be insulting people. Let me tell you what else doesn't work. Hypocrisy. Telling other people how to live their lives, but you live your life a different way. Telling people that they ought to be doing X while you're doing Y. And trust me, I work in a line of work where I see a lot of it. And yes, we're all hypocrites to a certain extent, every one of us. But there are different gradations of hypocrisy. And if you are going to say that the Lord called you to go into politics, you better act like it. And if you're not going to act like it, then leave His name out of it. Furthermore, I want you to ask yourself this: these candidates that are called by God to run for office, are their campaigns any different than the people who weren't called by God? Do they engage in negative campaigning? Do they launch unfair attack ads? Can you tell anything different about them than you can the candidates who just say, I'm running because I felt like running? They claim to serve a God that used a stutterer as a spokesperson. They claim to serve a God that let His own son lose a race to a guy named Barabbas, but they don't act like it. You want to persuade people? Hypocrisy doesn't work. Insults don't work. What does work? A relationship. The person has to know that you care about them. They have to know that you care about them. There are two people in politics that I think do a wonderful job of that, and I don't care whether you support either one of them. One is Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio was raised by a woman that cleaned other people's hotel rooms. But she had hope. She had hope that her son would have a better life, and now he's in the United States Senate. And the other person who does a wonderful job of communicating hope is a guy named Tim Scott, who is my best friend in politics. And Tim Scott's grandfather, who's now 94, would hold the newspaper up every morning at breakfast. Wanted Timmy to see him reading the newspaper because of the value of education, the power of education. Wanted Timmy to be informed. Wanted him to be up on current events. So he held the newspaper up every single morning. Except he couldn't read. Can't read to this day. But he wanted to communicate hope to his grandson about the power of education. You want to persuade people? Do you speak in hopeful terms? Do you communicate hope? Are they convinced that you have their best interest at mind? Last fall, my wife made me go to a wedding with her. Let me rephrase that. My wife and I went to a wedding last fall. And I was watching a football game on my iPhone, but it's the only way I agreed to go. Look, if you want me at your wedding, don't plan it in the fall in the South. So I'm watching the football game, and I hear that same verse I hear at every other wedding. These three things remain: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. We already knew that. I knew that. Comes right before the unity candle. But I started thinking to myself, okay, love wins. I get that. I know that. But hope must be really powerful to even be in the final three. Do you talk in hopeful terms? To the people that you interact with and you're trying to persuade, do you communicate hope? Do they think you care about them? So you got a message. You got a manner of communicating.
I wish someone could come save me right now from you.
Right, well, nobody has to save you because you're a fucking white man who gets to do whatever he wants to in this space, right? Aren't you quite aware by holding that video camera on me that you are surrounded by your privilege, right? Take your privilege somewhere else, please.
Oh yeah, hey, that sounds classic. Real classic.
You incestual piece of shit! You incestual piece of shit! What is America? Because
What is he saying?
white fucking
That's how we feel about Nazis.
That's how we feel about Nazis and colonialism.
There you go. They turned away.
Leave out this flag.
Hey, this flag
No property.
genocide. This is a flag of occupation.
This is a flag of occupation. Colonialism. Genocide. Slavery. And we're going to burn that shit. We're going to burn what that shit symbolizes. Fuck that shit. This represents slavery, colonialism, genocide, oppression. And it's all right to burn that shit.
Burn, baby, burn.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn that colonialism.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn.
Fuck colonialism. Fuck colonialism. Fuck genocide. Fuck slavery. That's what it stands for. Your ancestors were enslaved, and that's what that stands for. Your ancestors were enslaved, and that's what that stands for. What did you say?
What, do you want to bring up ISIS? ISIS has nothing to do with Islam. ISIS has everything to do with the U.S. imperialism. Who created ISIS?
Motherfucker. You look like an Uncle Tom, motherfucker. Your ancestors were taken here, and your ancestors were enslaved, you fucking idiot.
you are?
I'm an immigrant.
And?
Illegal immigrant. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Y'all were the ones who came over here on ships, motherfucker. Y'all crackers came over here on ships, all diseased and shit, and coming over here saying, oh, this is all land. You're legal, you're alien.
No, you did because America did do. Yes, I do. Okay. But I know you're a liar. You're a liar. Have mercy on those people in the desert.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you too.
Look at my face.
What? Go ahead. Don't, guys,
take a flop.
What?
Don't let him get in your face. He's trying to do that because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, so are you, you fucking asshole. So are you. So fuck you. No, yes, I do. You pay for it. You pay for it. Don't lie to these people. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't you know it?
I know it.
Okay, explain it. Explain how you lie.
Everybody ready?
Explain how you lie.
Okay,
explain how you paid for it. He paid for it.
I'll film who I want. You are in public, you can be filmed. Why? Are you a criminal? Criminals don't want to be filmed. If you were protesting, you should want to be filmed.
You sick son of a bitch!
Am I okay, officer?
You're fighting the wrong people. You're using your energy when you could be using it to
I'm not fighting you, dude. I'm documenting.
We are pro-life.
Document like that, yeah, man. He's not doing anything in people's faces. He's staying away from
Fuck you! Fuck you!
You're just fighting police. You might as well be in there, dude. Donald Trump.
Hey, you think he can get beat up for wearing that around here?
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely. Without it.
Just for wearing a shirt, though?
Oh, absolutely. That nigga ain't, fuck that nigga, straight up.
Hey, fuck Donald Trump, man.
Has returned. Heil Trump! Heil Trump! Welcome Nazi youth! Welcome Nazi youth! We need you! Kick all of everybody out! Please kick me out!
You all hate women. You're afraid of Mexican people. You're afraid of anybody other than the white man.
Like two Mexicans.
You're just fearful. You're afraid of things. That's why
you're making some pretty big judgments when you don't know anybody here.
I know what you're voting for.
Someone who supports Islamophobia, anti-Mexicanism, anti-Hispanic has to be a bigot. We're just asking for honesty.
The police have announced that they are getting ready to let the people who have attended Trump's rally, they're going to let them...
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice,
the roadway for vehicular and pedestrian traffic.
We got a significant development right here.
love you.
I am fucking racist. Fuck all y'all.
Fuck y'all. We all gonna be racist. Shout
Thank you.
Yeah, go fuck you, racist piece of shit, you fucking redneck.
You want to walk out? Come on. Be peaceful. Go in peace.
You fucking white trash!
Be peaceful. Peaceful.
Yo, get the fuck out!
Come here.
No, relax.
They just spit on her.
This man is savage. Hey, go Trump. Hey, go Trump. Go Trump. Go Trump. Go KKK. Go Trump. Go Trump. Go Trump. Go KKK. Go Trump. Let me see that. All right, bro. Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Hey. You gonna suck it? Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Get the cracker ass back to the county. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Get the fuck out of here.
So am I. But the Native Americans are like, question it. This is why. Hold on.
Why do you carry a gun?
Hello, everyone. Hey, I'm just stopping by to remind you that liberals are insane. Social justice warriors are becoming more violent and triggered than ever before. Anyways, be sure to subscribe to KGP TV on YouTube and have a blessed day. Yeah, man.